A month later, the 6 finalists arrive in London at Westminster Kingsway College to prepare for their final cook-off. They will all be set the same test recipe, which is only revealed on the day, and with only 30 minutes to prepare. They must cook a classic Escoffier recipe. Auguste Escoffier was a leading chef of the late 19th century who wrote the culinary Bible of classical French cookery methods. The Roux chose a magnificent veal Orloff.
That is a dish for the king. That's what it is. That will sort out the children from the grown-up. This is what we call a masterclass dish.
And now giving us that masterclass are cousins Michel Jnr and Alain, who demonstrate how it should be cooked at the Waterside Inn kitchens.
We have set for the Roux Scholarship a carré de veau rôti Orloff with a brochette of kidneys and petit farci. That is a tough one.
It should be. I mean, we're going to have a go. So first thing, the veal. And well, obviously I'll start by maybe cleaning the bones.
I think many chefs have lost the skills of butchery, and this is going to test them to the max.
Be flexible on your knees and the wrist.
We will notice immediately the chef who hasn't got that skill.
So now we'll get rid of the front cover. We should be able to use that in our petit farci.
That's the sign of a great chef as well. Minimum waste.
Exactly.
You've left the bottom part of the bone there.
But it needs to stay there to hold the veal nicely in place, and that's going to give it a good finished shape. So that's taking that part of the meat in between the bones. So that's going to enable me to clean the bones to have them really stand out on the finished dish.
I've cooked this dish many a times. I cooked it at the Élysée for President Mitterrand. In fact, we used to do, I remember at the Élysée Palace, we used to do them as great big saddles for banqueting.
The whole veal, almost.
Oh,
yeah.
yes.
Yeah. And I think that's it, really.
Yeah.
That's
So this is the bit I think that's going to be really important, is the fact that you've left the bottom part of the bone there.
It needs to hold the meat.
That holds it all together.
And for the cooking as well, it will be pink like that inside.
So now we're going to sear it off, get some lovely colour on it.
Yes.
Lightly seasoned.
A bit of clarified butter. That's it. Here we go.
They haven't got much time. They've really got to go very, very quickly and prepare this.
They need to really get cracking on that one.
In the oven?
Yep.
We're also going to ask our finalists to cook a brochette of veal kidneys to go with it as an accompaniment. So we take the kidney knob out of its fat, and I don't want to see any core in the kidney. We can then shape them, which I think will look beautiful on the skewer.
That's it.
Have you got the lardons?
Yes, they're ready.
Oh, beautiful.
There
Perfect. As you can see, they're all the same size, and that's very important. The kidney, the mushroom, the lardon, so that it'll all cook properly.
Yeah, same timing.
So beautiful. I think that looks a treat. Now we need to season these, but very, very lightly with salt, a little bit of pepper, and then
The fat of the kidney.
that's going to add more flavour into this. We're going to grill one and just put the other one on here to sear. What we want is just a little bit of colour on it, and then they can leave it aside and then just in the oven last second.
Oven, yeah. Just to finish to cook.
Yeah. I think that looks great.
Mm.
And then, of course, all the vegetables to make the garnish, the petit farci, which is basically stuffed vegetables.
Yep.
We're giving them some cucumber, courgettes, carrots, potatoes, beautiful shallots, artichokes, baby artichokes.
They have to use 3 out of those.
We want to see their flair and their imagination.
Your freedom is good sometimes in cooking.
We expect to see something imaginative done with the cucumber. And the courgettes.
Courgette, yes. It's going to look quite pretty.
Yeah, give it height.
That way. So I want to create enough space, really, to put enough stuffing in there. Petit farci, when there's nothing inside, is not that good. It should be tasty, and for example, the courgette should have some courgette inside.
And I don't want to see the petit farci rushed. They've got to be beautiful and perfectly cooked, and a perfect accompaniment for this veal dish. So here we've got our selection of petit farcis that we've prepared. So now we have to literally stuff them. This one's carrot, a bit of smoked ham in there.
Celery, onion.
And that little hat. And then sit on there.
Beautiful, Mimi.
I think if we can get them all like that, that would be nice. For the cucumber,
Mushroom. We use trimmings of the veal and a little chopped parsley.
if we put just a little bit of cheese and some brioche crumb, which will give it that lovely texture. For
That's
the baked onion,
courgette, some onions, and just a few mushrooms as well. And use a little hat to go on top.
and the courgettes.
That's obviously the rice, the trimmings of the veal, a little bit of onion and chopped parsley.
There's a lot there that they can use.
There's a lot.
This is a really critical part of the recipe, bringing it all together. The veal has now roasted and has rested, so it's ready to carve, but they have to have made this mixture here. So we have a duxelle of mushrooms, coarse, but it's dry, so it's crumbly. We've got the soubise, which is basically onion and butter.
Just cooked, yeah, with a lid on.
Almost mayonnaise texture. And the bechamel has to be that lovely, wonderful consistency. Look, it's absolutely beautiful.
Well, you need the truffle, and I'll show you with the veal.
Yep.
So the trick is to cut just here and here.
So you're leaving both ends so that it holds the meat in.
Yep. So that's it, you see? I've opened it,
The texture is beautiful. Look at that. Wow.
and that's our lovely fillet.
So now this gets sliced.
Yep. Back inside. As it was, basically.
And we're going to use some of the duxelle mixed in with a bit of the soubise of onion to make it into a kind of paste. And we're going to put that in between each slice.
Yes.
And you have to be quite generous with the stuffing there.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
So, truffle.
I think that will give a little extra flavor to the actual meat and to the duxelle of mushrooms. Lovely.
That's wonderful. Look at that.
So that's going to be placed back on the rack
And nappy.
and nappy with the mixture of the soubise.
Glorious. So then we sprinkle on a little bit of breadcrumb and
And the cheese.
Parmesan cheese.
Yes. So that's going to go in the oven for at least 10-15 minutes.
Right, in the oven.
Let's go.
Great. Love it. That's beautiful. Wow. And the petit farci. Wow.
That's it. What do you think?
Now, if our finalists can manage to do that, we'll have found a true chef.
A Roux scholar.